somebody's got something on their mind. Any other questions for? Yeah, go ahead.
What's the toughest situation you've ever been in on the show?
Toughest situation I've ever been in on the show. I suppose in reality, what ends up happening is it's when I get to those moments when I'm out there, and I use this phrase a lot. If I go like, oh, you know what? I got this. The minute I start thinking cocky like that, the minute I start thinking overconfident, that's when I screw up royally. And if you remember the Norway episode where I survived in a car for about the better part of a week, and then I started going down the mountain, that trip down the mountain was really harrowing. That was a very dangerous situation. I mean, it was rain and freezing wet snow, and I was soaked to the bone with sweat and the rain. And but I started that whole journey down thinking, it's a walk down a hill. I got this. And I mean, I couldn't have been more wrong. And recently, the same thing happened again in the very brand new Romania episodes that we just put out on air with the search and rescue team. And same thing happened there. I went down the hill and I ended up coming up to this cliff area. But the problem was that I started off that whole journey with, I got this, no problem. And I found myself facing a cliff, couldn't go down, and back up was really, really tricky. So the most dangerous situation, I don't mean to be so vague about it, but really it comes down to that moment where I get overconfident, where I start thinking everything is not a problem. You know, I'm sure that being that I'm in Grants Pass, I'm sure there's some very experienced outdoorsmen and outdoorswomen here, hunters, fishers, all of that. But yet, it doesn't matter. I still screw up, and so do you guys. Like it's that moment where we forget, you know what? I'll be fine without my gloves this time. I'll be fine without my jacket or my extra sweat. It's like, no, you never are. It's still always the wilderness, and it's still it's just as, I mean, it's benign out there. It just is what it is. It's not gonna help you, it's not gonna hurt you. But being unprepared and having that cocky attitude, that's what that always gets us in trouble. I'll tell you a story. When we first came here, I went for a hike up on one of the hills, and some stuff was going on logistically with our gear and that, and I thought, I thought exactly that. I got this, not a problem. And I went up to the top of the hill, and just a pair of track pants and a t-shirt, kind of did like a jogging thing. Nothing with me, zero, nothing at all. And I got lost in Colonial Valley. And I literally came to this like, oh, that's not my house. And I mean, it was hours later. And I'm covered in all the stickies, all the little sticklers are all over me, and I come out and it's like, well, this is just embarrassing. And sure enough, some guy comes along in a forestry guy in a pickup truck and gives me a ride home. I'm like, please don't know who I am. Please don't know.